Okay, we at Mercedes-Benz Truck and Buses head office here today, and this follows the launch of FUSO's launch of 4 new models and facelifting. I think it was 5 of the models, and we have with us here Mr. Ziyad Gaba, who is head of FUSO Trucks Southern Africa, and we're standing here on a beautiful, beautiful day here. Look at that. This is which model is this one? The FJ 182280, eh? Okay. See, I was saying to you the other day at the launch that it never ceases to amaze me, the optimism that I pick up from truck manufacturers like yourself. Yeah, the SOEs are in an absolute shambles in terms of debt, Eskom, SAA, SAB, how many more must I go on? Politicians in court all day and every day, and it all looks pretty horrible, you know. And yeah, you come out with the launch of a new range of trucks, again expressing optimism in the future of this economy and also in the trucking industry. Where do you find the optimism from? Teach us.
Thanks, Patrick, for the kind words. No, I think, look, at the end of the day, South Africa still needs trucks to move things around. So we are still quite optimistic. If we look at the market results at the moment, they look quite positive. There's some positive growth in certain segments. And yeah, the thing is, we still need trucks to move things around in South Africa. And I think that will be here for the foreseeable future. So we're quite confident that the market will grow, albeit not at massive rates, but we're still quite optimistic for the marketplace. And really, Patrick, it's about finding those segments in the market where there's still opportunity and growth. And I think we as FUSO are finding our place in that space.
Well, I tell you what, finding your place is a bit of a misunderstatement because Fuso is really doing well in the market. Over the past year or two, it's done exceptionally well. I remember, you know, what a lot of people, some of the new guys in the industry won't recognize is that there's a name in the Fuso stable that was a household name, even among motorists in South Africa, and that was the Canter. And it's still there. The Canter name is still a legend sort of name. I think it went into different stables. One was Ford. They messed it up totally, I remember. Okay, they didn't know what to do with that truck. But the Cancer is a household name, and Fuso is now becoming that name. It's really doing well in the market, isn't it? Um, uh, against your opposition, you've got Isuzu you're up against, you've got the Hino you're up against in those sectors. What do you ascribe this to?
Yeah, Patrick, make no mistake. The competitors out there are strong, but that's also a good thing because that means we have to up our game and become better. And yeah, we've worked quite hard over the last couple of years to really get that Fuso brand name out there so that people recognize it. I agree with you. People do recognize that Canter brand name a little bit more often than the Fuso name, but I think we're working quite hard to actually get it out there with our slogan, Fuso Simply Better Trucks, which really stands for reliability and quality, value for money, and best service support. And I think that's helped us just to get a little bit more brand recognition. And yeah, you're right, we are on a good growth path at the moment. Of course, we could always sell a few more trucks. I would like that, but definitely we're quite happy with the progress that we are making so far, and we're very optimistic that we'll grow in the future as well.
Well, it certainly seems so based on your past performance. There's a lot of confidence around the Fuso brand, and also there's a good vibe in the Fuso stable. The new trucks, let's launch on to that. You've launched 4 new models. You know, it often amazes me. We've got so many truck models in South Africa. One would think, hey, wow, let's stop here and let's carry on with this. But there's always room for a new one. You mentioned just now, you've got to find the segment. What segments are you directing these models at? You've got 4 new models. What segments are you looking at?
So, Patrick, as you know, Fuso is part of the Daimler stable within Daimler Trucks and Buses. And let's say our sister brand, Mercedes-Benz Trucks, are doing exceptionally well in the long haul segment, the really long distance travel. As Fuso, we're more interested in playing in that shorter and medium distribution space, as well as the construction space. And these 4 new models will fit perfectly into that distribution segments. And that could be in truck rental, courier and distribution, you name it, I think we can do quite well. In fact, this FJ 18280 that you see behind you, we also believe will be a very strong competitor in the agricultural segment. So these are really the sub-segment, so to speak, that we will aim for growth in the Fuso stable over the coming years. Patrick, you've come to our events. You know that we are aiming for a 10% market share in the coming years. And we can only do that if we continuously find new segments and new niche products to actually bring into our stable. And that's something that we'll continue to do for the coming years.
Fantastic. As I say, I get. Whoa, I nearly dropped the bloody Camry. Whoa, here it goes again. Hey, and I don't know how to cut that out. So there we are. Did anyone see my nice shoes? Ziyad, this is trucking, brother. Ziyad, we just need you in the sun a bit there. Okay, this is good fun trucking. Ziyad, I mentioned to you before, and I mentioned during the event, there's nowadays the press conferences. Why is this flag flying right on your face? Yeah, that's it. The press conferences. We used to really spend a lot of time on specs. It's gone away from that now. And I assume that's because you can't introduce a lousy spec truck anymore. You can't introduce a dead truck. So you're going into features like safety, driver comfort. Certainly the spec must be there to do the job, but there's other features are there. Is that a deliberate move away, a deliberate change of attitudes? Like I see there are wonderful safety performance features you've introduced. In fact, the look of the truck is absolutely beautiful. So over to you.
It's definitely a sign of the times, Patrick. With today's specifications of trucks being so readily available to customers, they can do an easy search on the internet and find everything that they need. And you're 100% right, Patrick, that if a customer really wants to do his research or her research, they'll find all the information that they need pertaining to the technical specifications of a truck wherever they need it. So for us, we've actually moved away from just sharing that sort of information to the customer and moved more to trying to explain where we believe the value for money comes from, or why a specific option that we put onto the trucks would be more beneficial to certain customers. So for example, in the FJ18 to 80, as well as the 12 170 and the 26 to 80 range, our 6x2, we've got a feature on the e-viscous fan now, which is able to actually reduce our fuel consumption by 2 to 3% on its predecessor models. And that's something that we try to sell as a benefit to customers, knowing the price of fuel at the end of the day. So instead of sharing specifications, we'd rather share the USPs and the benefits that these USPs bring to our customers. We think that adds more value to their life.
I was very interested also to see you've got an engine RPM control to alter the RPM depending on demand. That's also a fuel consumption advantage. Is that a manual shift? Does the driver have to be trained on this? How to alter the engine RPMs, not RTMs, revs per minute?
Yeah, of course, Patrick. In certain applications, like in the construction industry, when you fit in a PTO into the vehicle, these type of applications are needed. It is a manual switch, and there is some training required by our dealer partners when they sell the vehicle to customers. But these are easy things that can be pointed out at the vehicle delivery handover phase.
Okay, great, because it sounds a lot more complex than it is, I suppose, where, engine RPM control, and you've got to think a driver saying they're looking at everything else he's doing on the road, then he's got to adjust the RPM to suit the demand on the engine and all that. Okay, so it's pretty much easy, but that's another great fuel-saving feature. And safety features also, I see you've improved those. So inside the cab, you've paid a lot of attention. You've got seatbelt warning things. You've also, on the comfort side, a radio, LED lights, etc., to cozy up at night. And there's all kinds of wonderful safety features and comfort. There's a lovely radio inside there. There's all kinds of things. So the driver comfort is a big accent today. Is that so?
I think so, Patrick. If you look at our model range over the last couple of years, it's definitely one of the areas where we've paid a little bit more attention to, knowing the value of a driver and how important they are to the business of running these important trucks. So that's something I think that we are trying to upgrade while still keeping the price in a competitive space. I think this is important for us to find that balance between driver comfort, but still keeping the price in a competitive space for our customers. We know we have to offer that value for money, and that's where we're trying to position ourselves.
Wonderful. We're coming to the end, yeah? And some good info coming out. Mercedes-Benz collaboration you mentioned. Like, I think this has the same engine as the Mercedes-Benz and the transmission as one of the Mercedes-Benz model. Are you finding lots of, economies of scale and joint venture technology projects that can improve the FUSO over, or, yeah, that's basically it. How's that collaboration going?
Yeah, I think it works quite well for us, Patrick. Obviously, since Daimler purchased the Mitsubishi Fuso Truck and Bus Company, or at least 90% of the company since 2003, they've been working on a lot of projects for collaboration in technologies. And For example, FUSO in the world is one of the leaders in electronic trucks, electric trucks at least, in the future. And of course, Daimler shares this expertise across the different brand models. Where we are scoring, I think, a little bit here in the South African space is, you said it, Mercedes-Benz is one of the market leaders in the the heavy-duty truck space, and we've been able to actually build and leverage off that association with Mercedes-Benz quite well. So, for example, the technology that you find in the new trucks that we have just launched, a lot of that is Mercedes-Benz quality. The transmission, the driveline, these things have been proven to be successful for many years. You would have seen these models in the old Latigo and the old Exor range. And we know these are proven quality, reliable products that have been running in South Africa for many, many years. So for us to have that opportunity to use that technology in our trucks just makes sense. The economies of scale enable us to give us a very competitive price to the customer, but also proven reliability and quality is what we stand for. And by associating the two brands together, this just makes sense for us and the customer.
I think it's a very good point, because having the Mercedes-Benz name, I remember when the Actros, and I just pointed to that, that's the new Actros, 2663, that is going down very well in the market. When it was first introduced as the new electronic era, it bombed out in grand style. And the thing is that Mercedes stood by it. They sent the engineers out from overseas, and they stood by it. So they be proved by their talk and by their walk that they are for the long term. They look after their technology. If it's not right, we're all going to make an error now and again. That really was the introduction of new electronics into South Africa many, many years ago. But they stood by their customers. And having that sort of research base of technology and all that, and now that you're implementing that and you benefiting from that, can only stand FUSO in good stead. So there's a whole lot of advantages here for FUSO. New truck models, and a new vibe in the country, simply better trucks, eh? And Ziyad, I just want to say thank you to you for making the time to talk to Fleetwatcher, and all the very, very best with your models, and your great optimism is so inspiring, and all the best down the road ahead.
Thank you, Patrick, and appreciate you taking the time as well, and keep up the good work on the truck safety projects, eh? I think we need that more on the road. Thanks a lot.
God bless you.